Kumechacha.
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 Kumechacha, Grace.
Kumechacha. Kumechacha. Wow. Grace, this tea is just confusing me, huh? Kumechacha, Grace. Kumechacha na kikombe. Welcome everybody to Kumechacha, your Saturday African Diaspora Breakfast show. I am Grace and this is
Grace.
Yes. We're here proud as ever to show you our Kumechacha mug. So please forgive us our excitement today.
So excited, yes.
Yeah. So habari diaspora. We greet you from Tujipange Studios in Philadelphia.
Yes.
We bring you Kumechacha, bringing you the best in news, features, entertainment from all over the world. Kumechacha, Grace.
Yes, and remember we'll bring you some beautiful gifts at the end of the show. Stay with us and answer some very simple questions that we'll be discussing in the show.
Yeah. So take a moment right now to invite your friends. Today's show is going to be pre-recorded, but that doesn't mean you cannot tag your friends, invite them to participate in this video. We also will also have this video up on YouTube. So Kumechacha leo.
Chacha.
Yeah.
Yes. And the weather is good though.
The weather's nice.
Yeah, we are in fall.
Yeah.
The leaves are falling.
All
the leaves are falling.
Yeah. We should take pictures one day when the trees are changing color and everything. It's quite nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So Grace, we want to first of all say habari to the diaspora. We want to greet everyone who has been watching our videos. We thank you for the growing community. We want to give a special shout out to the people who are watching us in London. I know the time difference. I don't know, is it GMT or what time is it? We should add that to our promos.
Germany and London too.
Yeah, we appreciate every one of you who catches us after our live broadcast and catches us on our pre-recorded. Those of us who are watching in Netherlands or watching in Canada, we appreciate you. Watching in Australia, watching in Korea, we appreciate you. Grace, I see you are just eating.
Do you think people will laugh at us or judge us because we are having chicken for breakfast?
Let me show you. We are going to flaunt for you. We are going to floss what we have for breakfast today. I think that we will surprise you to this morning. So let me show you what you're having for breakfast. Breakfast is self-care actually. This is like it's really a nice time when we can get to sit and eat.
Food is medicine, we don't joke with food at Tujipange.
Grace, you prepared a very nice kitoweo. What is
that? That is home fries. So this is just peel your potatoes, ngwashe. There's a lot of ngwashe in the US. Peel them and then chop them in rings. Like round rings. And then deep fry them, just with not too much mafuta, not too much oil. Deep fry them with green pepper, white pepper, red pepper.
So yummy.
Yummy. Yeah, natural, not artificial spices. So they should cook like in 10 minutes.
There's also some nice mushrooms here.
Yes. So we also have mushrooms. You know that in America from 11 o'clock we call it brunch. So brunch is something between lunch and breakfast. So we have some kitoweo here. These are mushrooms. So these are just mushroom, again cut in rings and pan fried with onion and some what do you call dania?
Cilantro.
Cilantro. I always mix it and some cilantro.
Yes. And we decided we're going to we've always been talking about how we're having dinner for breakfast. And so we're here to show you that we can have dinner for breakfast. So here we have wings.
Chicken wings,
yes. These are actually made with celery. The marinade is actually celery, carrots, peppers. You blend them and then you cover them on top of the chicken that you are preparing. You put some pepper also that you grind with, and then you let it sit for like an hour, and then you put it in the oven and it bakes nicely.
Grace, I didn't know you were such a good cook. This chicken tasted as if I have never tasted chicken before.
I'm a chef.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
really
much.
Good.
Your food
Viewers,
is so
we
good.
wish you could join us, but we hope that you're having your breakfast at home.
Yeah.
It's important that you have your breakfast. And in this show, we like it when we're both eating. You know, you are eating and we are eating.
Yeah.
This is a fellowship.
And not to forget, definitely a fellowship, that full rounded meals. We're having, Grace, you always have to do yourself when it comes to fruit. So we have beautiful strawberries. Are these pears?
Yeah, pears. It's the pear season right now.
Yeah. And blackberry. I'm a blueberry. I think I see these are in Kano. They grow in Kano. Grow wild in Kano.
This thing used to be sweet when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
And sandara and maembe. A good tip for when you're shopping for fruits, it's always
grapes.
good to shop for fruits that are in season. They are much cheaper.
Yes, much cheaper.
Yeah. So Grace, as we're eating breakfast, we also were just reflecting on self-care. And what have you been up to when it comes to self-care this week?
Oh, so this week I'm in one of the groups on Facebook that is doing something called the 30-day challenge to lose weight. You might think I'm not that big, but considering that when I came to the US, I was about 80 pounds.
Wow.
And now I've added 70. So I'm 150 pounds.
What's that in kg? The conversion rate.
Divide by 4.4. Wenye hesabu watuwekea hapo.
Hiyo ni kama...
That's like 150 divided by 4.4.
That's like 40, but about like 38, 37, 36, around 30. Really 36 kg.
No, we're mathematicians. Me, I'm just 150. Is it by 2.2 or 4.2? Let me not talk about things I don't know. We are telling lies. 1,000 apologies, 1,000 apologies, Grace. Anyway, I don't know. Someone convert for us pounds into kilograms.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so I've been walking every day after work. Instead of taking a cab or an Uber, I've been taking a walk. It's about a 1 hour walk every evening. Yeah, so that's been my self-care. And when you walk, you reflect a lot. You see lots of buses, nice cars. This Philadelphia has some of the best cars in the world.
You think so?
Yeah, I've been looking at the cars and dreaming big. Like maybe one day I might just buy that one.
Right.
Yeah, I'm looking at some beautiful homes. People have made their homes beautiful with nice plants and flowers. Yeah.
Now this time of year must be very nice to walk around, yeah? Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. What about you, Grace?
Well, for this week, I actually took some time off. I just needed some time to decompress, detox and relax. And I've been hanging around watching TV, being a couch potato, catching up on old movies. I really try to let my mind rest.
Okay. Yeah. What do you mean by detox?
I think detoxing is just like letting go of negative energy that you have accumulated over time. I think some of that is anxiety. A lot of that is just fatigue. A lot of that is just, a lot of feelings when you're caught up in work and you're involved with everything. Sometimes you can just have a charge up of energy just sitting around you. And you need that time to just sit and breathe and relax. Drinking water is also one of the things I said I wanted to do for self-care. But this week, I've really been attentive to that. So that was also part of my detox process. Yeah, so I've had a good week.
Yeah, so viewers, please share with us different kinds of self-care that you do.
Yeah.
So we can also do them.
Yeah, if you have any ideas.
Yeah, give us ideas, share with the rest of us what you did or what you normally do for your self-care. Just something to help you get off the busy hustle and bustle of our daily lives. Yeah. So, and I want to say that for those of you who've had great weeks, congratulations, continue on the good work. And for those of you who've had not such a great week, remember that self-care is part of your healing strategy, is part of your coping strategy. We are there with you, we are family, so make sure that you reach out to your networks. Make sure that you talk to somebody about what's happening. Make sure that you reach out and say something because there's help and support for you. So keep going on. You've made it this far and you'll be okay. Yeah. Don't ever give up. And this month is Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
And we'd like to remind both our brothers and sisters to go for the mammogram test, to go for the pap smear, although this has nothing to do with cancer, with the breast cancer, but just to watch out on your cancers, whatever might trigger any kind of cancer. Yeah, so we would like to support and encourage our sisters and brothers who are going through breast cancer. Yes.
Grace, say it louder so the people in the back can hear.
Oh, yeah, we'd like to say, today I'm talking, why am I whispering?
You're talking systematically.
Why am I so humble today? I think this food has really toned me down. I'm just feeling sleepy now.
Relax. That's what my dinner for brunch does.
My frequency has gone down. Hii chakula ime cut off my frequency when we are discussing serious matters.
Frequency imerudi chini.
Oh Lord. Na frequency imekatika. Nimekula mushrooms na kuku. Na hii potato fries.
You're eating like it's after lunch. You've eaten ugali.
I'm just whispering. So anyway. Self-care imetukujia too. We are laughing, like I'm laughing from the pit of my stomach. I tell you, this is the most hearty laughter that I've had this week. Grace, stop joking because I need to breathe so we can continue with
Yes, continue mammogram, yes. Sema kwa sauti. Don't drop your coffee if you're watching this.
You have to say something to make me stop laughing.
So, mammogram for both men and women. It's not just limited to women. Make sure that you have a test done. Make sure that you're doing your yearly physicals to make sure that you're self-directed in yearly physicals to make sure that you're in tip-top shape. And not to forget, I think it's National Mental Health Awareness Month as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So as we talk about, depression and anxiety and like really the importance of self-care, this month is also a time to really reflect on our mental health and how it impacts us and what we can do better about it in our community.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a reality.
Yeah.
Yes, so my voice is back. Thank you. Back to the real world.
Yes. This is like we are doing PE after lunch, so we are back and we are here for all the parents. Thank you for bringing the watoto to the table because it is now time for the Paukwa African Folktale. All the children, call all the children. Junior, who is in the bedroom, please call them, invite them over.
Watoto, please come over. We want to do our story of the day.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for this story.
So Grace, before we do the Paukwa story, what's the chorus I was teaching you that we'll sing with the children?
Bring it again. Let me see if I remember.
Yeah, so the children, I'll be singing this song during the storytelling session. And this is the song that the hyena will be singing when the wife's mother-in-law comes. Yeah, so... Otatima window, chore match. Otatima window, chore match. Otatima window, chore match. Otatima window, chore match. Machal gimaro, chore match. Machal gimaro, chore match. Maromina yemba, chore match. Maromina yemba, chore match. That will be our chorus for the day.
And Kwitu Marketplace, we need drum.
We need a new drum. Drum imetoboka. Tumetafuta drum. We look for a drum this week.
Please give us tips on where we can find them.
The drum, Grace's fingers are itching for the drum.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Paukwa.
Pakawa.
Sahani.
Ya mchele.
Giza.
Ya mwizi.
Baiskeli.
Ya mwalimu.
Maziwa. Kiboko.
Ya mtoto mkorofi.
Na maziwa je.
Ya watoto wote wa Nyayo. Yes. I know Kenya celebrated Moi Day October the 10th.
Yeah. Hadithi
njoo.
Yes.
Yeah. So once upon a time, there was a beautiful girl called Awurawur. Awurawur had looked for a husband for many days, but she could not get one. So one day, a hyena came and proposed for marriage. And because the people in the village had been making fun of Awurawur and laughing at her and telling her, you're growing old and you can't even get married, she opted to go with a hyena. But when the hyena proposed to her, the hyena did not inform her parents, so they eloped at night. So they went to the forest, and she got married to the hyena, and they started living together. So Awurawur, at the beginning, the hyena would bring meat of a cow, of a wild animal, of a hare, of all the animals that tortoise. Yeah. The hyena would bring different animals for Awurawur to cook, and Awurawur would cook the food with onions, tomatoes, dania, or the kitungu,
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but then, after a while, the hyena one day brought a child. And Awurawur was so shocked because she had never cooked a human being before. So what she did is she dug a hole in the ground in the kitchen and hid the baby in it. So she went and took a piece of the old meat and put a lot of spices in it and cooked it and gave it to the hyena. And the hyena believed that. The hyena said, oh my goodness, these human beings really taste good. So another day, Awurawur went. So the hyena went out again hunting and brought another child. Awurawur did the same thing, took the boy. There were two boys now. The first one was a boy and the second was a boy. Took the boy and hid the boy in the hole in the ground in the kitchen. So over time, the hyena started bringing in animals again. But this little boys, the Award would cook for them and feed them, and the hyena was out with his friends. And then the kids grew. They kept growing and making them. They kept growing and being strong. But she whispered to them when they started understanding that I'm married to a hyena and he brought you here, so we could eat you. Please don't make any noise. Just stay down here and keep quiet. So Award's mother had really longed to hear for her daughter. She loved her daughter. She did not hear anything about her daughter for many years. So one day she cooked a lot of food and said, I'm going to look for my daughter. I'm going to visit. So she walked for many, many, many days and finally ended up in this little hut in the forest. And when she walked in, she saw her daughter and she ran and hugged her and they cried and she said, oh, my daughter, you're here. But Award said, Mom, why did you come? I'm married to a hyena. The hyena will find you. Please, please, please. You have to leave immediately. But while they were still talking, the hyena had smelled Award's mother. The hyena smelled great meat. A woman beautifully built with big behinds and nice breasts. And the hyena was dreaming how he was going to have a beautiful dinner with his friends. So Award told the mother, run, Mom, run and hide in the roof. So the Award's mom climbed in the roof. And the hyena came and said, knock, knock. Award said, Karibu. And hyena said, oh, this house smells of a visitor. And Award said, no, there's no visitor. He said, no, this house, Odni Dumwendo. This house smells of a visitor. And he started singing. Otatima window, Chodema, Otatima window, Chodema, Otatima window, Chodema, Wendo Machalgimado, Chodema, Wendo Machalgimado, Chodema, Maromina Yemba, Chodema, Maromina Yemba, Chodema. So when Award's mother heard the music, the hyena had such a beautiful voice that Award's mother could not resist. So she started dancing a little, and the hyena kept singing. Otatima window, Chodema, Otatima window, Chodema, Machalgimado, Chodema, Machalgimado, Chodema, Maromina Yemba, Chodema, Maromina Yemba, Chodema, Maromina Wood, Chodema, Maromina Taco, Chodema. Award's mother loved this song so much that she got up on the roof and started dancing vigorously for the hyena too. She didn't know that the hyena was seeing her. She was just dancing and Award started weeping. And the hyena was asking, Award, why are you weeping? She said, oh, it's just, I don't know why I'm weeping. It's just something has hurt my eyes. And I think maybe it's an insect that has entered my eyes. Otatima window, Chodema, Otatima window, Chodema, Endo Machalgimaro, Chodema, Endo Machalgimaro, Chodema, Maromina Yemba, Chodema, Maromina Wood, Chodema, Maromina Taco, Chodema, Maroniwa Cham, Chodema. So every time the hyena sang, the Award's mother danced. She danced until one foot fell off, and she danced until another foot fell off. And the hyena could see that Award's mother had been endeared to him, and she was going to come down. So she changed the beat. She started singing praises, singing with all his heart to get Award's mother to come down. And Award's mother started coming down.
Wow.
And the hyena sang, Kalamindi tienda, Award majarego mo kilomindi ting. Award chega o kilomindi ting. Maro miele te wio dende, maro miele Kalamindi tienda, Award majarego mo kilomindi ting. Award chega o kilomindi ting. Maro miele te wio dende, maro miele. And the hyena came down so excited. So the Award's mother came down so excited, and she already part of her legs and arms had fallen off. Down. And the hyena took and gave her to Award and said, cook your mother, I want to eat her. So as Award was cooking the mother, she put the fire, she set the stone and the firewood, and the smoke was coming from the firewood and hurting her eyes, and Award was cooking her own mother, and she was really crying and cooking her mother. And Diana kept asking her, my dear, my darling Award, why are you weeping? Wow. What's wrong, darling? Wow. And Award said, nothing is wrong, my dear husband, it's just the smoke from the fire that's stinging my eyes. So she cooked her mother, and Diana ate the mother. But when the boys who were watching from the ground or listening to what was happening came out. They waited that night when the hyena was asleep. They came out and stabbed him and stabbed him and stabbed him and killed him. And they ran away with the wood and went back home. And that is the end of my story.
Oh. Totinda,
adonga rongi bapima kanera. May I grow as tall as the tall trees at my uncle's homestead. My maternal uncle.
I'm still trying to. Grace is saying it so fast. I'll catch up one day. Paukwa, Pakawa African Folktale.
Yes. What is the moral of the story?
What is the moral of the story? Maybe those of you who are watching can have different meaning, have different ideas on what it means. Please say it in the comments if you have an answer or a response. But what I got from it was, know what you're getting involved in. Don't just get carried away into things without researching them, or know the people that you're getting involved in. Don't just fall into things blindly. You know?
And I think before you really get married or get involved with somebody, you should really know who they are. And take a little time to know somebody. You cannot know somebody's somebody's qualities, but at least get time to know somebody. Not somebody who someone else know. Someone, know them through their friends, through other families, find out, And then again, just the other thing that struck me in the story was how when you get desperate, you can make any decisions. Don't make decisions because you're desperate, because people are laughing at you, or you just make a desperate decision
or
that
pressure.
will harm you. Don't give in to pressure. Giving into pressure has drastic consequences. So I would run away with a hyena because the family had turned their back on her and wanted to be married. So everything comes in its own time. Just be patient. Patience pays. Just be patient.
And I was just thinking, Grace, about one thing that once she lied about cooking the children, but at that point the hyena thought now the children or the meat of humans might now be even more tasty. So be careful of the types of lies that you set in place, because you'll find a point in time where it's too late to return from. So
but I do admire Will's courage and how
that
she
was
was
very
able to
courageous.
rescue the little boy. She took a risk but lost her mother in the process. So that is the end of the story. And Grace, do you have a question?
Do you have a question?
So the question of the day is, how many children did a wood hide in her kitchen?
Yes, that's a great
children?
question.
How many children did a wood hide in the hole in her kitchen?
Yes.
And what is the gift?
And if you answer these questions correctly, so we ask that you send inbox us at Tujipange Africa. I think the best way would be to respond to this message through a Facebook message on Tujipange Africa. What's the question again?
How many children did a wood hide in the hole in her kitchen?
Yes. And if you win, if you get the correct answer, we'll draw someone, and you get a chance to win a very beautiful set of markers, pens, and some very nice notebooks for your kiddie. So this is for U.S. residents only at this time. But please respond. Thank you, parents, for watching this and helping your child respond, and we'll get them something cute in the mail. So thank you so much. Yeah. So Grace, I think we are moving nicely well along into our broadcast. And now that the children, tell the children now, and then Rudini, go back to the teacher. Now it's time. Grace, what about our doubts about our answer for last week and what we have to give? Let's do it now.
Okay.
So the answer to a couple of weeks ago, the question was, what is the definition of power of attorney? And the answer to that is what, Grace?
So we said the power of attorney was authorization that you give somebody, especially an agent, someone working in your agency, to advocate for you when you reach a situation when they have to make a medical decision, and either you're unconscious and you want to be resuscitated or you don't want to be resuscitated. So this is someone you authorize who can talk on your behalf and advocate for you.
Right. Yes. And so we have a winner for the our first of our weekly draw about the beauty set and the beautiful gele. And our winner for that one is who?
Our winner for that one is the lady from Canada. What is her name?
Nanis?
Nanis Brown.
Yes,
Nanis
yes.
Bray. Yay!
we appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
Yes.
So we said we would send only to the US, but sorry, we're sending gifts to US and Canada.
US and Canada.
Yes.
We're trying to reach more and more, and we'll keep expanding and have new exciting offers and gifts coming to our viewers next week.
Yes.
So stay tuned. We'll have another question, another opportunity for you to win at the end of this episode.
Show. Yes.
Yeah. So Grace, let's get into it. Let's bring the adults have gathered, and now it's time to talk about resumes. Hey, I know you are not expecting. We're talking resumes.
Resumes,
really,
job interviews.
Yeah, it's a really important part of succeeding and thriving in America. Is also part of succeeding in the American workplace.
Yeah.
You know, in a 24-hour economy, we spend most of our lives working. You know, if you sleep for 18 hours, 12 hours are probably spent with you trying to get to work, being at work, coming back from work, complaining about work, and, you know, doing the same thing over and over.
Yes.
So what makes a difference between a successful job seeker, career seeker, and a not so successful one in the US?
Yeah. So we have a few challenges that face those of us coming in from the diaspora. As I said, Grace, during our discussions earlier, that some of us come in as on green card, some come in as refugees, some come in as asylees.
Some of us come as students.
Students also. So you're looking for a job in colleges. They have vacancies. Normally for student workers, you just have to go and sign the right visa. But for a lot of us, we come in with a Kenyan accent. And this really makes us have an inferiority complex. So when people keep saying, oh, you have an accent, oh, you have an accent, you start losing your confidence. Because you say, oh, when I was in America, I got an A in English. I got an A in English language. I got an A in English literature. I was working in an office. I was the secretary to the CEO of a company. So English has never been a problem to me, even the way I speak. But now when I come here, people say they cannot even understand what I'm saying because I have an accent. So we tend to lose great job opportunities because they keep saying we have an accent. So I was looking for a job as a telemarketer at one time. And the person just told me, no, we don't understand. You're rambling over words. So we cannot understand. So there are words that, like water, you know.
There's some things like, and I'll try to bridge the college experience because I came in as a college student and it was also hard when you're trying to express your goals and desires with your professor, you know, when you're trying to speak up in class and start building those assertiveness skills. So some of that can, you know, the college experience can also be very traumatizing so that when you come out, you find yourself even less prepared to handle the workplace because I remember I was saying committee. I was saying committee, and they keep asking me, what is committee? And I'm saying it's committee. But they're saying, no, it's committee. I'm like,
huh? That sounds like a village near my place. Committee.
You know, so the aspect of trying to explain yourself over and over and over again, even when you're experienced or starting out, is a very big issue in the workplace. You know, you are saying that the telemarketing job, they just hung up the phone on you.
You just hung up the phone. No, I didn't even go through finish the interview stage because during the interview, the person told me on the phone, like, Madam, you're just rambling over your words. And I really felt quite discouraged and disheartened. And I said, how will I get a job if my accent has a problem? And I really do not like changing my accent. Like, you know, people acquire accent on the plane. Yeah, I didn't want to do that. Because then I feel I'm not authentic. I feel I'm not real. Like, how would I start speaking like someone else? Yeah, like I don't have those vocals. Yeah, so that accent thing is a big deal. But you have to realize that the accent should not really stop you from getting a job.
No, not at all. But I think like when we talk about, you know, just putting it in a broader context, when we think about resumes, when we think about CV, when we think about jobs, it's really a matter of how you bring yourself to the table. You know, in the Kenyan culture, or even the Kenyan system, we're so used to being one or two things. It's either someone you know someone who knows someone, and therefore they can give you that experience, and so you don't need to go through those processes as regular people do. Or you've been coming through a system where you've understood like your skills and your education are the only thing that matter. So your credentials are the one leading and not you. So you find a situation whereby in the American system, a lot of it is based on how you communicate your experience. You know, they really look for experience. They really look for someone who's able to articulate what exactly it is, and the value they brought to the organization. That doesn't have to do, even nowadays, jobs like big companies like Google are saying that they want more diversity in the application. So your PhDs and all that, and the things that we associate in Kenya is, that person will get a job immediately, and not the first things that American companies are necessarily looking for. Yes. And so we come into these environments, and it's like it's moved around. Everything has switched around from 180. You know, so when you're trying to even assert yourself as a Kenyan who's not been used to doing so, and then you face barriers like, oh, here's your accent, or you people are here to take jobs away from us, given the current political climate, can be very challenging for someone to like brand themselves as a unique person in the workplace.
Yeah, and I think in the Kenyan experience, you get a better job by how many degrees you have. Like the more educated you are, the better for you.
Yeah.
That's why people keep going on for their second and third and fourth degree. A master's is very important in Kenya. It can help you promote you, help you get a better salary.
It's like the direct association.
Association, PhD. There's so much emphasis put on credentials, like academic papers in the Kenyan job market, as opposed to here, where it's the other way around. They're more interested in skills.
Yeah.
They're more interested in whether you're a people person. They're more interested in whether you will fit in with those particular people that you'll be working with. And when you go for the interview, they actually check whether you're a good fit in the company.
Absolutely.
You might have all the certificates, you might have all the skills, but being a good fit is part of an important part of the process, because they want to know whether you have the energy, you have the character to get along with other people. Yeah, so you might find, a lot of times I've found someone who is less educated than me. You'll find someone with a GED or just a high school diploma. It's very top.
Yeah.
It's very senior. And you're under them, and yet you have your masters and all that.
You know, in most cases, unless it's a very highly specialized, like technical career, which will absolutely weed people out, based on just like general skill. A lot of it is just based on, I've even been surprised, people will come and talk about their years of experience and the things that they lead with. And then you come and see their degree and you're like, oh, this person got an associate's degree, but someone got a degree later in life. These are some of the things that we might necessarily like look down upon or see as strange in Kenya, but people actually start getting the education once they get into those high levels of employment. You say their workplace can sponsor them for education. Yes. So it's it's really a different dynamic, slightly different dynamic here.
Yeah, and they start the children here start developing their careers or their work mentality very early. Like during vacations, I've seen children who are 10 years old coming in with their parents to work and volunteer and to help around.
There's actually a take your child to work day that's in the US, where you take your child to go see where you are.
Yes, yes. I've met a lot of people who now they're in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and they started working when they were 10 years old, 8 years old. Yeah, and they're working in offices. The offices here give opportunities to children to volunteer.
But volunteering, not child labor.
Not child labor, they're not paid, but they already have volunteering. Yeah, is an important part of your resume. It gives you, when they're looking for experience, and you say, oh, I have no experience, but someone is coming into the same interview, and they've been volunteering somewhere for 10 years, definitely they stand a better chance than you.
And this is a tidbit for people to understand that volunteering is a critical part of your resume. Actually, any type of valuable experience where you gained some sort of valuable skill is an experience that you can list on your resume.
Yeah, and Grace, to give you an example, like where I work, I had an accent, and I did want some telephone jobs, which I couldn't handle because of my accent. But I was volunteering. I offered to volunteer in that place. And after 2 years, I had the experience. They got to know me. They got to identify my skills. So when I did my resume, I'd say that I am good at this. These are my strengths. These are my weaknesses. And they could see that I was honest with my resume. So that volunteering is a really, really important part of building your career.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about it in our previous episodes. You can catch them. We're actually on YouTube now, so catch all our YouTube episodes on Tujipange African Media. But volunteering is a critical part, especially when you're coming into an environment where we recognize there's some occupations, Grace, that you can come to the US and find that the certifications are completely different. You have to bridge your courses.
Yes.
Sometimes you just have to take a course, or you have to take an additional course of study and a test so that your credentials can come over. Unfortunately, there's some, with the American and Kenyan difference, sometimes it may not work exactly as you want. I think this is doctors, sometimes engineers, but there's always a way. There's always a way. A lot of companies are willing to host, to sponsor people. A lot of them are willing to provide educational opportunities based on the strength and the potential that you provide. So look in your area and see if there are ways that you can bridge the skills that you already, or the certifications you already have in Kenya, and bridge them into a recognizable body that can recognize in the US to improve your job chances.
Yes, and some of those organizations are here, some of those bodies are here. So a lot of the times we found a lot of people in the diaspora, they're cab drivers, they're CNAs, they're doing nursing, which is a great profession here. But you might have come in here with a different career. You might be a journalist, you might be an engineer, you might be something else, you might be a teacher.
Might be an artist. You can actually use those certificates you came with from Kenya and give it to some bodies here, and they will translate it into an equivalent, an US equivalent. So you might, instead of starting all over again from first year, you might only do 1 year. Or you might just do some English classes. So those resources are available. Don't think when you come here, you just have to work in the supermarkets, carry heavy boxes, drive trucks. No, you can use your certificates to have them translated into a US equivalent. Absolutely. And I think a lot of the issues that we have when it comes to adjusting to the American workplace is the translation factor. Sometimes we just need a way for us to translate how we understand the things in Kenya or in our countries of origin into the language that is recognizable in the American workplace. So that calls for a lot of assertiveness. Americans are very assertive. Americans are like what people would call arrogant. In Kenya, or in some of our more conservative countries, they call it as assertive. When things like we're talking about eye contact, you're thinking that you're sitting in the interview.
Oh, you want to be humble.
You want to be humble. No, that means that you're not. You're supposed to come up to the table, recognize the organization. How are you going to do that? Sitting back and sitting.
How are you going to work like that? How are you? So Grace, you're there. We are in the same interview, and you're like, "Oh, I'm Grace. I'm from Kenya." Because the person
really
is
want to work here.
The person's like, "Yeah, man, I can do all that. I have done the latest software technology. Oh, that's easy, man. Just bring it on, man. Yeah, bring it on, man."
Grace,
bring it on, man. Bring it on, man. I can do that. I can type 60 words a minute and just say, Oh, man,
Just give me an opportunity. I really want to work here.
Oh, no, she don't know that. I can do better than her.
We're not saying do that one.
Don't do that. But people here have energy. I tell you, people come in with energy. They're enthusiastic. We're not saying don't be a loud, boisterous, boistercock. No loud, boisterous, boistercock. No, but they're more interested in your skills and what you can achieve. Like show off what you have.
Show off you're like
branding.
You're a full package.
Show off
if
branding.
You don't show it imagine you're meeting this person for the first time. If you do not impact them within that 10 to 15, let's say that first minute.
It's 2 minutes.
The
2 minute pitch.
If that within that 2 minutes,
seconds,
the 30 seconds it takes for them to assess you, the 2 minutes it takes for you to open your mouth and introduce yourself, that is when they assess you. Are you a strong eye-to-eye contact? Are you a strong, assertive? Are you a good cultural fit? Are you coming in and they're like, we don't like this person's energy? They won't allow. By then they will be like,
hey, Grace,
we have options. We don't. Energy yako si poa. Imagine.
There's an interview I went to and the person had this heavy droll accent. I kept saying, I did not get the job. The person was like, hey, Grace, Miss Grace Ryder. I was like, that's not my name. My name's not Grace Ryder. I was like, huh? So every time they asked the question, I kept saying, Ati what? Ati what? I even said, Ati what? I was like, we don't understand the language. Can you speak in English?
And Grace, part of self-confidence is recognizing, by the way, me and this person, we may not work well together. I think that's the other part of working in the workplace.
I tell you.
You have power to say, imagine me, I can't hear this person will not hear me.
This person, I tell you, that suit was wasted. I went and bought a nice suit. Yeah. And my accent just failed me. I couldn't hear what the person was saying. I couldn't hear the man stuff.
And honestly, it's a reality. It's a reality that I've been here for a while. I think my accent just collected itself along the road somewhere. But it depends. In some places, you'll even go in and think you're speaking the perfect English, and you still not have that like communication. And maybe that's a sign for you. I think in the American workplace, you also try to understand. Excuse me. You also try to understand that you also have power in that interaction. You're not there to beg. You're not there to grovel. It's up to you to also assess the place. If they are not able to understand your accent, you should start thinking, is this a place that is immigrant friendly?
Yeah, is it immigrant friendly? So it's important to identify immigrant friendly environments. Although some environments are friendly even though they're not immigrant.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but just check, are you able to work and fit in this place? Yeah.
And this comes in with research, Grace. I know you're about to say something, but research is important. A lot of organizations have their mission there. They have their mission statement. They have the people who work for them, so you can see their photos. It's really an opportunity for you to chambua and look in the back and say, what are these people saying? What do they believe in? Do they have people who represent? In some industries, we know that there's a difference. There's some people who are overrepresented in some, but it's important to look at who makes up this organization.
Yes.
There are people like me. Am I going to be the only person? What type of environment am I walking into?
Yeah, so back to resume, it's very important to identify the difference between a resume and a curriculum vitae, whereas a resume is just a 1 to 2 page summary of your skills or your works. A curriculum vitae takes it up a lot of pages. It's like your whole history of your life work. And normally they prefer that you get back at least to 5 years in a resume, but in a curriculum vitae you can go back to 20 years. They can say I've had a 20-year experience. It's a very extensive, almost 30, 40, 50 pages. Of all your work history, your publications, your experiences where you've been a manager, your managerial positions, how many conferences you've attended, how many papers you presented. So it's quite detailed. So when they ask you for a resume, normally just do 1 to 2 pages, and then they might ask you for a curriculum vitae, especially for a managerial position. And then when you're including your resume, really put your pitch. Say who you are, and your pitch is like a summary. Your statement.
It's like your elevator. It's like your elevator. Imagine if you're
branding. Let's talk more about that.
So the elevator or the pitch is. We were taught the narrative of, imagine you see the CEO of the company that you want to work with. Standing in the elevator, and they're about to get off, and you have a limited amount of time to put your best foot forward. This is like probably a 2-minute ride if you're going to One Liberty observation deck. But this is your moment to put that thing in. So what do you put in a pitch? A pitch is an encompassing of everything that you are. Including your skill set, including your personality and experience. So, and I know, I think this is a point at which confidence. Work on your confidence, work on your self-esteem. A lot of times it's an issue, a matter of confidence. How do you communicate? How do you talk about yourself? I think I had an issue talking about myself. Yes. So an pitch is really knowing to identify who you are and saying, this is who I am.
Give me some of the brands.
So let me say, one of the things that I usually use, I say I'm a development practitioner. That means that I'm a development professional, and I have with 8 years experience in public health, communications, public policy. So put in keywords, right? You say you are this person, and this is your specific skill set. I bring this amount of years into it, and I have worked with medium and small time companies to bring awareness and increase their footprint in the business environment. So you're saying, here is what I am, here's what I do, this is how I've done it, and this is what I brought into the world. Yes. So that's how I conceptualize a pitch. What about you, Grace?
So I have my pitch here, not for my current job, but for another job that I did. Here at the Maju, you do a lot of jobs before you get into the real job, as we call it. But branding is important in that. Look at the brands that are successful over the world: Nike, Coca-Cola. Here in the US, where during summer there's this Mr. Softy. Mr. Softy goes around, whatever it is.
The ice cream truck.
The ice cream truck. So you can tell just by listening. What do people see in you when they see you? Okay. What image do you portray? How do you carry yourself along? So this was my pitch for my resume as a community health worker apprentice. So this was my summary, professional summary. My brand. A community health worker apprentice with 22 years experience in non-profit organizations that advocate for the right of vulnerable women, men and children, and media relations. I created and headed a behavioral change organization devoted to meeting the needs of populations vulnerable to HIV and AIDS that saw professionals...
Say it louder for the people in the back.
Oh, okay. Start again. Today, this food is making me sleepy.
This brand needs to be had.
So this is my page. This is my brand. This is my summary, professional summary in my career, in my resume. Community health worker apprentice with 22-year experience in non-profit organizations that advocate for the rights of vulnerable women, men, and children, and media relations. Created and headed a behavioral change organization devoted to meeting the needs of populations vulnerable to HIV and AIDS that saw professionals come out in public and inspire the community to live and work positively with HIV. I'm compassionate, fast-paced, and highly assertive in spotting clients' needs and resources, as well as building and organizing with local networks. Yeah, that was my pitch. Yeah, I am compassionate, fast-paced. This is what the job required. Compassionate, fast-paced, and highly assertive in spotting client needs and resources, as well as building and organizing with local networks. Yes.
So a skill is one, tailor your pitch, customize your pitch. You don't have to post the same thing in all the jobs because different jobs have different emphasis for different things. So it only takes a minute to go back and check and see what are some of the keywords that they keep emphasizing in this, and what skills can I put in, what are some of the keywords that I can put in that will catch the ear. It will catch the eye of the recruiter. They will catch the eye of the manager and say, yes, this person read the resume. This person may have an idea of what exactly we're looking for in this position. And it's an opportunity for you, a tip, that the job position can actually, it's a way for you to reverse engineer your resume. Because the job description is the best, actually, descriptor, can provide you with the best descriptors for the job that you're applying.
Yes.
If they say we're looking for this experience and this, then go ahead and take that thing and say, I provide this experience. It's a way for you to use the words that they're using to merge yourself and align yourself with the company values so that they know exactly when they're coming in, this person really paid attention to what we were asking for.
Yeah. So I got this concept when I went for a 3-month training. They actually have 3-month trainings. One of them is Upglow International, where they train you how to write resumes. And it's free. Like you don't pay anything for it. So it's Upglow training for immigrants.
Is this only in New York?
In New York, yeah, it's in New York.
Okay.
So, and it's online. Just Google Upglow immigrants and you will find it. So first they ask us to do a professional summary, which I adapt my pitch, and then to just put my key skills. And my key skills for this job was familiarity with Philadelphia and surrounding region and sector navigation, because I was going to work as a community health worker apprentice, and it means I need to navigate and network with people in the region. So familiarity with the region was very of key sense. Strong project management, administrative and staff training skills. I had a mental health first aid certificate, case management through client-centered practice, group facilitation, ability to network, engage and influence people, motivational interviewing, excellent oral, written communication, and strong interpersonal skills. These are just some examples of key skills. Electronic health records and case notes. I have home visits and multitasking. Recognizing and reporting child abuse, that is, I'm a mandated and permissive reporter. I work well under tight deadlines, pressure, and flexible hours. Background in community organizing and asset marking, and of course, computer skills: MS Office, Word, Excel, Publisher, Adobe. So those are just the keys. What key skills? When you're talking of key skills, these were many, but you can just pick a few strong ones.
And there's different ways that you can write a resume. I think sometimes when you have the license to be creative but still be professional. So there are ways that you can write a resume. You can write through the chronological format, which goes from like the least, the most recent going backward. Or sometimes if you're switching careers and you want something that emphasizes more of your skills, you can write a resume based on like the pockets of experience that you've gained. So it's important to do some research and see what type of resume works best for you. Are you someone who like wants to do a summary thing? Like some people do a summary of key skills, or some people also incorporate into the description of the job that they're doing. So there are different ways to do it. And I think the thing that I want to stress most is there's a lot of resources on how to write a thing and what to do at the interview. We argue that there's a philosophy that you can also carry with you into that room. You're bringing yourself, right?
Yes,
you're a person of value. You're a person who's bringing valued skills to a negotiation, and that's what it is. It's a negotiation. A lot of people are afraid to ask the salary question, but why? It's a valid question, but a lot of us are fearful of doing it, because we don't want to feel like, oh, we're not going to get a job, or we're not going to do it. But a lot of organizations are asking that more and more. So how do we respond to questions that we may feel uncomfortable of? What do we do when we're now there and we feel like uncomfortable?
Like Grace, there's an interview in which I should have walked off then, but I don't know why I did not walk off, but I felt very uncomfortable because the person interviewed, there was a panel of 12 men professors, and the chairman of the panel asked me why I was not, he asked me, are you married? And I said no, and he asked me why not. And I said, well, I made it humorous. I said, well, nobody has proposed. And he said, oh, there are 12 men here. Who here wants to propose to her? That was very, very unprofessional. And I said, no, I'm not ready. And then he asked me, how many children will you want to have when you get this job? And I said, oh, as many as this panel wants. So I made it humorous, but I really should have walked out of that interview. That was not a professional interview.
No, you're right, actually. Especially in the climate where immigration is such a key issue. You know your rights that they're not supposed to discriminate you based on your national status unless it's a job that requires certain things like clearances. Be careful that in the interest of submit and being humble, that you're not digging a hole for yourself for using something like ammunition to against you, because you don't know the type of employer you're interacting with. You don't want a climate where you're coming in and someone is not immigrant friendly, or they're not, or you're a pregnant woman and they don't provide accommodations or like laws. They don't respect who you are as a person, because even if you want that job in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, you'll be the first one trying to get out. It's important that you also ask questions for the organization. Kwanzaa, if you do your research, bring questions to the table. Keep them on their feet. What do you have in terms of benefits? What do you have in terms of time off? What are some of the things? Where do you see this company going in 5 years? Is this going anywhere? Come to the table with a lot of assertion. I will keep stressing this because it's things that we have to learn. Many of us have to learn once we get to the diaspora.
Yes, and it's important to really be in touch with the networks, because you'll just realize after many years suffering and struggling that a lot of immigrants here are successful. They own stores, they own companies, they own offices where you can work. So
absolutely.
Don't just stick with that and think, oh, I have to go for the big jobs. I have to go to all the big supermarkets. There are people here who are the immigrant-friendly organizations, that human rights organizations as well.
Absolutely.
And then those of us who are refugees, asylees, or people coming here, we are storytellers. Kenyans, we are a storytelling communities. Africa, we are oral, we are storytelling. When you go into that room, the interviewee is not interested in why you came here. Oh, my brother did this to me, my parents did this to me, the government did that to me. No, just say that I came here to start a new life, and I need to move on. I'm coming in with these skills. I came into this country with this job, with these particular skills, and I want to move forward with them. No stories. Too many stories. They'll say this person has so many problems that we don't think that they'll be able to. This person is traumatized. Did you hear the story she talked about? She's so traumatized that she needs psychiatric care right now.
And within the type of skills that they're looking for, if you're someone who's a storyteller, some of the skills that they're looking for is you're able to communicate concisely, accurately, and effectively. If you're over there telling stories, they'll say this person will probably just tell the company secrets while they're telling stories to somebody. So gossip, So some of the top skills that they'll be looking for, and making sure that you incorporate this within your pitch, your skills, and your resume, are listening, communication, problem solving. Are you able to maintain deadlines? Are you a good team worker? Are you someone who's great with conflict? You're someone who can deal well with ambiguity. Are you someone who reads and writes? Are you someone who, they want someone that you can actually work. You can put it on paper, but if you sit in the office and you're not doing anything of use, then you're not bringing any value to an organization. So soft skills are the things that they look for within an interview process, and they'll continue to look for within your application process.
Yeah, and even if you are in a different career and you want to change jobs, there are always skills that you can transfer. They're called transferable skills, and these are like communication, problem solving, as you said, grace, reliability. Are you a resourceful person? Are you respectful? So you can move with your skills from one career to another.
Absolutely. And tips for getting at the interview: always I always make a point of bringing extra copies of the resume. You don't know how many people you're going to sit with, and it's also good practice to show people, I've thought of you also. I think a lot of it is just carrying confidence and coming from, I came in through the college experience, and it's not so. College students, we may come in and we may have a little bit of a buffer before we get into the environment. But working in school is very limited. A lot of people are trying to work, assert themselves, find internships, because we're also limited in the internships we're looking for. So it's a very different set of minds for college students. And so to any college students who are watching this, I just want to keep encouraging you. You're still growing. You're facing these older American white, mainly adults. You're 19. You've never seen these people. You've never talked to them. You've never been in a workplace. You're put in a point when you have to put yourself out there, look for internships with new people in a different culture, with new kids who know everything, who have been working since they were 10. I want to keep encouraging you. Just keep going, keep pushing, keep asserting, keep writing, keep building that confidence. It's important. Important. We're not leaving anyone out.
And then as we move into the interview now, we're going to the interview day and what they expect. When you go to that reception, here it's different. America is different. At home, it's the receptionist who sit in the reception. Here you will find the boss at times sitting at the reception, and you come in and you think they're the receptionist. So don't start making calls and telling stories on that phone, because they'll already have made an opinion about you by the time you go in. Be respectful, talk. They'll avoid using your phone.
Don't be the person who yells at the guard downstairs, "Nifungulie mlango," and then you go over there and pretend, because maybe they have cameras. So
24-hour surveillance.
So put your best foot forward. Look on if you're looking for a place to start, there's career counseling services. If you are not close to an immigrant friendly, maybe career coaching place, you can look for state funded. So I know in Pennsylvania there's Career Link, where they provide on job search training, resumes, workshops. A lot of community organizations provide workforce development. I think that's what it is, that are also immigrant friendly. Look for this within your state, within your city. And not only that, there are also online agencies that you can look for that will provide support. If any of you are people who are career professionals, can support people in writing resumes, also let us know so that you can share this with the audience, so that people who are coming for help, they know that you understand and will help them succeed in their job search,
Yeah, and they have those resources in the public. If you go to any of the free libraries, you'll find people who help you write a resume. You can also go to the AIDS library at 1233 and Locust. Where they can help you write your resume. And then again, if you need some certification courses, you can just go online instead of paying for night classes or full day classes. Some of these courses cost like only $100.
Yeah, like Temple University has continuing education courses for $25, I think. So there's always an opportunity to improve your knowledge. There's online learning. The world has opened up.
And Grace, now to the questions that we were talking about. Just to go briefly over the questions. Tell us about yourself.
Yes.
The main question they ask you in an interview, tell us about yourself, and then what are your strengths and weaknesses. Let's run through that.
So tell us about yourself. Could you use the pitch as a way to...
Yes. Okay. Yes. You can use the pitch. So tell us about yourself. For one, do not talk about your personal life. That's not what they're asking you.
Don't say I came from Kenya 25 years ago.
I have 4 wives and I have 30 children.
They're like, this person will use a lot of benefits.
Don't use your personal life, which they will later use against you.
So bring in a professional pitch, something that's preferably suited to the specific job you are searching for. When it comes to Grace, we'll move to the next part, which is strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people struggle a little bit when it comes to responding to that. And don't be a smart aleck. Don't be a smart ass. Be honest. Be honest, but be strategic. it's an opportunity for you to humanize yourself, but to also show that you are human and you're also making progress. You're not just human. You're like, oh, I'm too perfect. Who says that? It's not. It's not real.
Don't say stuff like, "Oh, people say I work too hard."
Yeah, or like, everyone loves me.
Everyone loves me. Like, you don't go to work to be loved. Not
Stop
everybody
lying
will love
to people.
you.
They'll know you're lying to them.
Who is loved by nobody? Everybody loves you. You don't even know the people you're working with, and you're saying in an interview that everybody loves you.
Maybe like, then go get loved over there where you are getting loved.
People love me. Oh, I work so hard. People say I work so hard. Like, being a smart, don't try to be too smart. Yeah.
And your weaknesses, you're like, I work too much. No,
you can say something, for instance, especially might go a little over time, but we need to to emphasize on this. So when you're talking about what are your weaknesses, you might say something like, I like doing things. I'm so detailed and thorough in my work that sometimes I may not.
I may not be as very attentive to deadlines.
Yeah, I might miss a deadline. So I'm trying to work on that. The other thing is I work too fast. So I have to kind of pull back and be at par with my team. Yeah, stuff like that.
I think a weakness, an honest weakness, is saying that I'm someone who prefers to work individually. So a lot of times when it comes to working in teams, I may have to do some catch up, or it takes me a bit of time to get into the grooves of that. However, I'm working more with that by communicating with my supervisors about how best I can contribute to the team, and also being more assertive in our team conversations to make sure that my voice is always heard at every meeting. Awesome. Now, you see in that one, you describe what it is that's happening, and then you're talking about the changes that you're already either implementing or were implementing in your previous job. You already have a plan. And that's what people want to hear.
So don't say, oh, I work so hard, but at 3 o'clock I really doze off. and snore, So you'll have to put on your earphones. That's my weakness. I really snore hard after working.
I worked really hard.
Yeah, now I'm sleeping and snoring. Yeah. And then again, what are your strengths?
So I would say strengths is like, I'm a great team facilitator. I'm very great at bringing different ideas together into the same room. I'm great at operationalizing these documents. I'm providing a tangible result to what people talk about. I'm great at translating ideas to actions. So that's a great strength. That's the time to bring your this is my card.
And you can also say I'm a results oriented person. I help I achieve results. Like, I help in the last job. Like, why am I saying that? In the last job, I helped increase sales by 30%, help reduce time, the hours we spent on consultancies, stuff like that. So that was just our little tips for the day.
And I hope that you can take this information and let that resonate in your mind as you're preparing your resume, as you're preparing your cover letter, as you're getting ready for your interview, as you're preparing that final box and you're getting your clothes together as you approach that interview room. It's a philosophy. You're valid and you're valuable and you're bringing in something useful to the table. That's why they are paying you. So come with confidence. Of course you deserve that and more.
And never forget your smile at home. Don't put your smile in your pocket. Your smile is part of your branding.
Don't look at the floor. There's nothing there.
So Grace.
Our relationship. Let us switch over. Are we doing the puppies tonight?
We were supposed to introduce you to the puppies.
Should we do that, or we can do that?
We promised the viewers
to
bring the puppies. So just take a minute. I'll just take a minute to run and show your puppies for 1 minute to Grace as we prepare to talk about the boyfriend with the one leg.
We need to chemsha.
Okay.
We need to chemsha the chemsha bongo. So as Grace is bringing the Kumechacha puppies, I know that this is a puppy family, but I want to recognize and shout out all the folks that have cats. I'm a proud owner of cats as well, and those cats are like your controllers. If any of you have cats, in the US you have to clean up their poop and everything. So, any of you have had experience with that? Please comment. I know you've had that. But the Kumechacha puppies are here. They'll help us turn over before we get into the boyfriend. Delilah.
Yeah.
Hi. Oh, here you go. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, these puppies are. Samson,
do you wanna?
You wanna stand? Okay, here.
Here you go.
Oh,
she's so happy. She's forgetting to eat.
Oh yeah. So what? These are bacon, turkey.
So this is Delilah. Samsoni. Akadanganywa na Delilah. Akasema siri zote. Delilah akamnyoa Samsoni. Samsoni. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Look at them. They're like 3 months old.
Make sure they don't eat our food.
I know, right?
Samson and Delilah are exactly 3 months old.
Yes.
Yeah, they're very gentle. Oh, not quite. Right.
Me,
now.
I'm stressing Delilah out with all the movement.
Oh, Delilah likes cuddling. Look, she's just right.
Delilah.
Delilah, do you want to say hello to our viewers?
Hello, Delilah.
Yeah, so these are the Kumechacha puppies
Yes.
who've been guarding us, taking care of the studio and giving us
Yes.
some company. They're also therapy dogs. You can keep pets. Great, you keep cats?
Yeah, I was just talking about my cats. So they are like controllers, but I love them to death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pets are very therapeutic. At the end of the long day, they'll always love you for free, provided you can give them food. But yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we just wanted to introduce you to Samson and Delilah, their siblings, and their names have caused a lot of controversy.
Yeah.
Everybody says, why did you name the dogs Samson and Delilah? Because they don't have a very good... Delilah does not have a good reputation, but she's such a beauty. I think she'll be fine. She won't do what the one in the Bible did. Yeah.
Tutawanyoa wote.
Okay, we'll take them back. They like playing. It's their playtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. How big will they get to be, Grace?
Oh, they're gonna be twice this size.
Oh my gosh. In how many months? Like 2 months?
Another 1 year.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, the bacon. Here you go. All right, everybody. Wanted to show you the Kumechacha puppies, and we're going to go straight into our Aunt Dora, which is our question segment. We received a response to a question from Leah in Vermont, and we're going to read this straight to you, and let us try and support our friend here.
Yes.
I've been dating this rich white man I met at a club 6 months ago. He's 69 and I'm 29. Although we have developed a very close relationship, we have only kissed and touched, but have not had physical sex. We've been talking about getting married, and he has expressed a desire to visit my parents in Kenya. We recently got very close, and after a great dinner out and having a few drinks, we went to his place. I left him on the bed and dashed to the bathroom to pee. When I came back, he was struggling to remove his artificial leg. I got the shock of my life and started screaming. I tried to run out of the room, but swayed and banged my head since I was tipsy. He got so upset that we never got to do anything. I feel very betrayed because I told him everything about myself, but he never told me he had an artificial leg. I definitely was not prepared for what I saw. Our relationship is on the rocks because he said I laughed at his leg. He has refused to see me and will not pick my calls. I do have feelings for him, but I do not feel comfortable sleeping with a person with one leg. How will I tell my family, especially my parents, that I may marry a man with one leg? We don't have such people in our family. I do not want my mother to have a heart attack. How can I resolve this matter? Leah in Vermont, USA. Hey, Leah.
Oh, wow.
Sister Leah.
Sister Leah, our sister.
Oi.
Grace, I felt a little upset reading the letter when she mailed it to us.
Yeah, I think so.
And Leah in Vermont allowed us to read the letter and share with the audience. And the part that really struck me...
Where do you start?
She says we don't have such people in my family. Like in the family, people? They don't have... What people?
What people?
Really,
like white people, rich white people.
No, she means they don't have
one leg. People
she
with
said
artificial
they don't have people with artificial legs. Oh, they don't have people with physical challenges in her family.
But you're about to get married to someone who has never been in your family. So what's the problem?
So he's gonna be in your family. I think that's, I don't know. This was hard for us to handle. Yeah.
I mean, basically, and not just because of that leg, but just the issue around like secrecy and like who's right, who's wrong.
Do you think Leah, you know you're watching this show? I hope you're watching this show. But were you dating this man because of his money?
You've been dating
his
for
wallet?
6 months.
Were you eyeing his wallet? If for 6 months you did not notice that he had a prosthesis, or he had prosthesis is an artificial leg.
Maybe they met in the winter. He was not wearing. He was not wearing shorts.
But I just found a little bit. She sounded as much as you have a problem. I think you sounded a little bit. She sounded disrespectful.
Yeah, very much.
And prejudiced.
Especially
she lacked empathy. She lacked empathy for the people with individual, with physical impairment challenges. Because when you say we don't have such people, actually that's not even true.
It's not true.
I don't know how many relatives Leah has, but who does not have someone with a pre-existing condition in the family, whether it's diabetes, whether it's a mental health issue, whether it's a...
And the Wahenga Wakale, the proverbs have set in place that Chekai Kilema Hanta Kwa Ukipo. The person who laughs at someone who is disabled has one within them.
Yeah. So Leah seems like she's perfect,
I mean, perfect. You can choose. You can marry. We said in America, there's freedoms. You can marry someone who's 100.
You can marry someone else and give someone else an opportunity.
You can be cognizant of the fact that he's a rich person. So you can do all of that. But when it comes to the point in time where you are saying, "How can I tell my mom?" Is this someone you are serious in really meeting? Is this someone that you really cared enough for?
And was 6 months enough? I know people fall in love like right away. There's love on the spot, but I like what Dora said. She said, "From our letter, you seem to come from a world where everybody's perfect and has never suffered a disease, had an accident, or been born with an impairment. But in many ways, this shame is to be shared with our Kenyan society upbringing. How many times have we shunned loved friends, family, and countrymen over our failure to understand, empathize, and support our own people with their differing disability?" And as you said, the words, "Mcheka kilema hafi bila kumfika." So regard this as a visitation of mercy from the Almighty God. Be humble. Yeah.
I think
his wallet. You have a choice.
Yeah.
Pick his wallet or his heart.
Grace, when you reach that point, it's just that bragging. It's just that arrogance that is maybe that created that like feeling of like Leah.
Yeah, but people suffer physical disabilities and people suffer trauma. You don't know whether this person was involved in a car crash, air crash, car accident. You don't know what happened to them, and because of that trauma, it takes a lot of time for someone to be comfortable enough to share with you such private stuff. So maybe talking about it may trigger some memories. In some cases. So maybe they were just waiting for the right time. But to say that you ran away when you saw the prosthesis, you ran away and banged your head like you're fleeing from death.
Like she saw a ghost. So I can imagine your, maybe that is when you felt, okay, the point at most intimacy is maybe the point is the only point at which I can show my whole self. Maybe it was just a big rejection at the highest level. And this is not to say that maybe she should have been entitled to at least the person saying, "I want to tell you something before we get intimate." Maybe she should have been entitled to that. Maybe she was rightly scared because not everyone is used to seeing an artificial leg. But this what happens after, I think, is what makes such a big difference.
But maybe he saw something in her that made him not even want to disclose. Maybe people can sense things. Maybe he saw something in her attitude that might make him afraid to disclose. But I don't know. It's kind of challenging. We can't judge her. But how many of us actually are able to tell about pre-existing conditions? Like if you get a man or a woman you want to marry, will you tell them that actually in my family, 5 of us are in jail and they've all been charged with murder, or we have a child sex offender. I'm a child sex offender, so I'm a serial.
I'm a criminal.
I'm a criminal. I was jailed for serial murder.
I was in committee.
I'm an alcoholic. I love you, but I love my alcohol better.
Right, or I've had stints in behavior. Me, I'm thinking. Do you have the conversation before you start talking about going home? Because then it's like when you start planning to go home and you haven't known the person. So are there some things that are easier to start planning around? Because these people are going home.
They're going home. They're not going home right now because they're not on talking terms.
But before this artificial limb, it seems like they were already talking about.
They were talking about it.
Yeah, 6 months in a relationship is quite, unless you're, some people move differently, but 6 months is quite early.
The people go to heaven by different. Some go by train, some go by boat. But the ultimate is love.
So what are the intentions? And
then she's saying that her mother will have a heart attack. if her mother knows that she's marrying a man with one leg, she will have a heart attack. So why does she want to kill her mother? Why can't she just look for a man with two legs,
right,
and leave this other one? Do you know that these people with prostheses? She's not heard of the paraplegics Olympics team.
Yeah,
people with prostheses have been winning. You know, they're
making a lot of money
with the winning team. And there are people who have no limbs who've been doing well, and you know, just living a normal life.
But you know, maybe this lady she's probably like slay queen, forgive me. So just because you're a slay queen doesn't mean that you don't have the right to deserve rights. So maybe this slay queen is realizing maybe she can deal with like a rich white man, because she mentioned that in the first line. I'm dating a rich white man.
Yes.
But now she's saying, even as this is my standard, I can't bring someone to my family. Which I don't know.
Grace, do you think she can date a rich black man, a rich Kenyan man who is 70 and has one leg? Okay, that we don't know.
You know, in the age of slay queens and
anything
Kenyan
is possible.
politics, anything is possible.
Yeah. But again, I think the lady's attitude is instructed by our community.
Yeah.
Normally, we try to hide our pre-existing conditions because, especially in some communities, when you're getting married, they go and investigate. Like, do they have this in their family? Do they have epilepsy? By the way, epilepsy is a pre-existing condition. In the US, have their family, are they marriageable? Like, have the sisters or brothers, have the sisters been coming back home? Have the brothers been chasing away their wives? Are they abusive? Yeah, do they have incest in their family? Those are pre-existing conditions according to Jipange. Yeah, but the legal, official pre-existing conditions in the US, if you want to marry somebody, I won't name, the list is 30, and most of them are not, most insurances don't pay for them. You have to pay a little more if you get an insurance that agrees to pay for them. So we have HIV, AIDS, lupus, alcohol abuse, especially if you have, I missed that, alcohol abuse, mental disorders,
Alzheimer's, so these are like neurological,
multiple sclerosis, you know. So there are
Crohn's
lots of
disease,
them.
I think, is one of them. So these are like more of a chronic,
they're more like chronic
nature.
Yes.
Autoimmune, like anemia, I'm sure, like sickle cell is like a pre-existing. And we understand that it's even, I think I would say within our culture, even talking about having cancer. You know, that's
certain
so hard
kinds of
for
cancers.
people. But just in general about like how Kenyans are generally fearful of talking about conditions of which they may not have such a knowledge of and are normally fearful of. Sometimes people may have, we were talking about breast cancer screening, sometimes to save people's life they've had to do the mammogram. No, they've had to take out a part of the breast, to take out the whole breast, and can be very traumatizing for the woman. But this is a human being who will hopefully, after this operation, want to live on, be in a relationship. But imagine someone who's trying to date or get into a relationship and having to explain that I now have this thing, you know, I have this a body thing that I'm dealing with for the rest of my life. You know, people are afraid to talk about that. People will think, oh, wow, someone with one boob, I can't deal with that person. You know, so it's
that could be the rib that you've been looking for.
Exactly.
You tend to judge and label people by their conditions and by how they look. But at the end of the day, the question is, can you date somebody with a pre-existing condition? If someone comes to you and says, in my family, we have some mental health issues, we see people, we have hallucinations, we talk to spirits. My father is the chairman of the Night Runners Association in Kenya.
You have a cousin over here from Tanzania, Ganga Marufu.
If someone says their father is a traditional witch doctor, and you probably come from a Christian background, will you marry them? Will you go and tell your parents, your future in-laws are magicians, or
I think also not even doesn't have to be all the way negative. Sometimes family structures are different. Someone can say, well, we come from a family where all the fathers have had multiple wives. You know, that's a pre-existing. That's pre-existing.
Polygamy is a pre-existing. Polygamy is a pre-existing condition. So Grace, by the way, it is a pre-existing condition acknowledged by the government, and you can be paid insurance by the government of Kenya. But it is not a pre-existing condition in the US.
In the US.
So don't try it. Don't try it here. You might find yourself deported. For adultery. Yeah.
I think Grace, I think, maybe time. When do you sit and have these conversations? Is it 6 months in? Is it when you feel like you're close? Because maybe she thought, maybe one person has an idea of being close, another one has a different idea of being close. So when is timing? when is close, timing? Close? When is close? Is closing up until the point she runs away, or
and
what?
They say that after 6 months they had only kissed for 6 whole months.
Imagine.
And they're getting married and they only kissed. So even they had a pre-existing condition, another pre-existing condition.
We don't know about. So anyway,
so the choice is yours. At the end of the day, it's a very personal choice. Can you live with it or not? And when you've accepted, don't stop somewhere around the way and say, Missy, could you? I did not sign up for this. You must know what you're signing up for.
And all of us have, pre-existing.
It's a commitment.
And we have, pre-existing conditions. People. We are family members. We are lovers. We are friends. So do not feel that you have to settle less because. I think don't feel like you have to settle less because someone is over there. You feel like you have to settle with someone who loves you and then runs away at your leg because at least they love you. Yes. You're a valuable person.
Yes. You're priceless. And if your mother is the one with a pre-existing condition, that is, her attitude is a pre-existing condition.
Yeah, that's a
she's gonna have a heart attack just because somebody lost one leg. What if, put yourself on the other shoe? If you are the one with paraplegia, would you like to be handled that way? Would you like someone worrying about their parents? Are you marrying their parents? Or, I don't know. It's
like,
fine,
what is it about this extra? Is it the right leg or the left leg? And there are diamonds that are hidden there. I think it's time to challenge a lot of the assumptions or just the knowledge that we do or do not have.
So Sister Leah, the choice is yours. Pick the wallet or the heart.
Pick the wallet or the heart.
Just those simple words.
Kumechacha.
Great
question
of the day.
I know. So our question of the day is, wow, Grace, we've passed over a lot of topics. Oh, yes. So the question of the day is, what's the difference between a resume and a CV? What's the difference between a resume and a CV? You can DM us at Tujipange Africa, or you can respond in the comments. And we will look at all these responses and for your name to be, and we'll put all the names in for a weekly draw. And for this week, we will have a choice of either...
another beautiful...
Yes.
Get it?
Fall is coming, so this is US and Canada.
A beautiful something to wear on your heart. Yes,
it's beautiful.
You can shape it in any way.
So we're giving away another
giving that away.
Yes. And are we doing that special thing we were talking about? Yes. And we have two things, 2 winners. We have 2 opportunities, chances to win. You can either have this or a gift certificate. An electronic gift certificate. So this is available to anyone who can use dollars. Nakwambia. Yes.
How much is it, Grace?
So $25 gift card, and it's probably going to be a Visa or a MasterCard, something that you can use in a variety of places. So we're really excited. Please respond. What is the difference between a resume and the CV? Kumechacha wants to help you find a job. And help you find a suit or a nice gele to take to work with you.
Oh, Grace, the topics were hot
so
today.
Hot, so Kumechacha.
Kumechacha. See you next Saturday.